Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I am back with my second layout for How to Kill a Kit with Style for January 2019. Really loved how this one turned out, so let's jump right in. I decided since the first layout was all about the pink, that I would make this one all about the blue. So I'm just going through those scraps there and pulling in that blue diamond print. I really loved that one when I first saw it, as well as the solid blue pattern paper, as well as the scraps of that wood grain that I am so obsessed with. I'm just going through everything and pulling in anything that coordinates. That way I have it at my disposal, but everything I know for sure is not going to work, it can be set aside and out of the way. So I'm just going through all of that right now. My goals for this one is again to definitely incorporate stamping, a label, and for sure one of those Project Life cards, because I did not get one of those pocket cards on my first layout. I also want to make sure I use those enamel shapes, because those didn't make it on my last layout either, although I really wasn't concerned about those because I love them. They're going to make it on my pages. So I'm just trying to figure out how this design is going to go. I think my photos are going to be staggered that way, right next to each other, sort of overlapping. So now I'm just trying to figure out how it's going to go on the page. I decided I would go ahead and try and get the stamping out of the way. I really wanted to try and use that big floral on this page, and I kind of really liked how the embossing turned out on the first layout, so I thought I would try and use that same idea again by making die cuts. So I'm just embossing that floral and fussy cutting. That second one you see there, I accidentally double stamped, so that one turned out a little messy. But I'm just going to fussy cut this one, and I really like how it turns out. So off camera I do quite a few more of those just so I have them. The process was the same, so I didn't want to make you guys sit through this multiple times. There we go. Okay. So I flipped the colored paper over to the darker blue side. I really like that contrast that it has. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to pull it in, but I'm just keeping it behind that paper just so I can see them together and remember I want to use it somehow. And now I'm just laying out all of my embellishments so I can really see what I have to work with. First thing I decide to do is cut this wood scrap and border the top and bottom of the page. I didn't want to use it in just that one big block. Thought it looked a little clunky, and I thought using it this way was a little different. I know on my first page I also did a top and bottom border, but I thought this was different enough to where it was okay. Even if it was the exact same thing, I'm cool with it. If you like doing something, you can do it on every single page. It's fine. So I decided to matte my photos in white again. I sort of ran into the same issue as before, where I used all the colored and muted dark dramatic papers and I didn't have a lot of light things going on. So I think matting my photos in white really helped. And then again, I'm adding a doily, a glassine bag, and then those vellum die cuts, and I really feel like that helps freshen it up. I really loved this pocket card that was this dark blue polka dot, so I'm going to try and use that as one of my layers. And then I also cut off the branding strip of that solid paper, and I'm going to use that scallop as well. I like how this top portion is looking, so I'm going to go ahead and cut all of that down, but again, I'm being frugal. I'm cutting everything that's going to be behind those photos so that I can use them on other pages. And I did get another little tulle bow on there. Those are super cute. I definitely want to make sure I use at least 3 out of the 4 of those bows, if not all of them, this month. I mentioned on my first Felicity Jane layout that I did, not with this kit, but a previous video, that I really loved how the glassine bag added to the airiness and everything, and it was my very last one, so I ordered like a pack of 100 of those so I'd have them to use. I just think they add so much to a layout. Even if they're just peeking in the back like that, I'm fine with it. So I saw that little tag that came in the die cut pack, and so I wanted to put some twine on it, so I was just stealing twine from another tag again and using it on there. And then again, I'm just fussy cutting this scallop. I love that these branding strips are scalloped of those solid papers. It just makes everything usable. I'm going to go ahead and cut the whole thing because I know no matter what page I use it on, I'm probably going to fussy cut the scallop, but I'm only going to use a small strip of it on this page. So I'll save the rest of that for another layout. I like how that little die cut tag looks peeking out from that bag as well. I basically pulled out everything that was blue, and I know I didn't want to use all of the blue things on this layout, but I wanted to get a good bit of them on there. I love these monochromatic type layouts. I know it's not fully monochromatic with the wood grain and everything, but it's close enough, and I love that look. I definitely wanted to pull more of that tag down to the bottom so it looked like one large piece of paper. So again, I just gutted what was going to be behind the photo. So I have a little scrap left of that blue that I can pull in somewhere else. And then I'm just trying to pull in some more stuff from the top. I definitely want most of the stuff to be up there, but it looked too bare on the bottom. So I'm trying to pull in that vellum die cut that I embossed in 2 other places. And then I'll also put some die cuts down there as well. The back of that is just a hodgepodge of scraps. It's okay though, nobody will know once it's stuck down. Except you guys. So I decided I would also use the stamps for my title. I didn't know what my title was going to be, but I really loved this ticket that says "Today Was" and has a blank. I really just looked at the stamp set for anything that could kind of go and would fit that spot. And I really liked this cursive one that says "On My Mind." So I'm going to emboss it. I would have loved to emboss this in a blue or some other color, but I only have white embossing powder right now. So I'm doing it in white, and it's white on white. In person you can see it. I don't know how well you can see it here, but it's a nice detail. I like it. It's not terribly readable, but I know it's there, and anyone looking at it in person can tell, so I'm cool with it. And I got to use another stamp. I'm doing good, guys. I used a stamp on the first layout. I used 2 stamps on this one. I'm pretty proud of myself. And then I was thinking about using the blue epoxy hearts, but guys, did you know that left row, I thought it was like, I don't know what color I thought it was, but it's like wood grain. It's a wood grain epoxy heart. I did not realize that until just now, basically. And then I decided, well, I have to use those. It pulls the wood grain in somewhere else. Right now the wood grain's only top and bottom of the page, and it adds that little pop of contrast. So I really love how that looks. I use that whole row of enamel hearts that are wood grain print. And then I also got that enamel banner up there too. I'm just doing one little line of journaling. It's just talking about, this is while me and my mom were in Texas. My boyfriend dog sat all of our dogs for us, so that was super awesome. So that's just him hanging out in a hammock in my backyard with all the dogs. And then I struggled with this bicycle, but I told you I'm determined to get these bikes on here, and I was like, it's blue, it's cute, it's going, so got a bicycle. But here are the close-ups. I really like how this one turned out. I really loved the first page I made compared with this one, so I'm super excited about how this month is going, so stick around. Also check out everyone else who is participating. I will link them below. Thanks for watching. Bye.